Monsieur Olesen, j'ai vu que vous étiez un grand professeur, que vous aviez de grandes connaissances. Moi, je ne suis qu'un paysan bio depuis plus de 30 ans et je suis syndicaliste. Or, je pense que quand on utilise le langage des gens qui détruisent la planète, des gens qui produisent des agrocarburants et qui sont aujourd'hui ceux qui combattent le développement de l'agriculture biologique, vous propagez leurs idées. Quand vous utilisez les mots biocarburant, biodiesel et tout ce qui a un préfixe bio pour produire des produits qui vont détruire la planète, je pense que c'est inacceptable. Il est temps aujourd'hui que votre langage soit adapté à vos propos. Nous avons réussi en France à faire en sorte que, y compris le Sénat et la députation, votent un texte qui dit qu'on n'utilise pas le mot biocarburant parce que les biocarburants sont les ennemis de la planète et les ennemis de l'agriculture biologique. Après, quand vous partez dans des délires en ce qui concerne le biogaz, nous on voit ce qui se passe en France avec le biogaz. Le biogaz, ça permet de justifier les élevages hors sol, ça permet de justifier un certain nombre d'utilisations industrielles de l'agriculture. Il manque dans votre présentation quelque chose qui dit qu'on ne peut pas remplacer un système par un autre et qu'il faut que les systèmes soient autonomes sur les fermes pour des productions limitées. Et aujourd'hui, moi, je n'ai pas vu ça et je suis très déçu de votre intervention. Excusez-moi.
Thank you for your contribution, and we take the next. I think it was here, and then we had a third one, and it's also good to have critical statements now. We are in a discussion.
Jablonkai Sándor vagyok Magyarországról. Az én kérdésem az lenne, hogy hogyan tudja a mezőgazdasági ágazat megvédeni a földterületeit, mert Magyarországon azt tapasztaljuk, hogy a 1990-es évtől kezdve körülbelül a termőföld területeinknek a 5-6%-át vesztettük el az ipar, a kereskedelem és a más szolgáltatások javára, és ezek a legjobb termőterületeink voltak. Hogyan tudjuk a termőterületeinket megvédeni, amik síkvidékek és kiváló talajok? Köszönöm.
Thank you. We then move to the third one over there.
Darko Znauer, Avalon Foundation. Well, thank you for your presentation. It was very comprehensive. I was a bit surprised, actually, you have focused by giving solutions on what I would consider to be best technical means. Actually, in organic farming, we also try to advocate best ecological means, so solutions that rely on forces that are present in nature. So we still know very little about mycorrhiza effect, allelopathy, etc., etc. So do you see any role for, let's say, solutions relying on best ecological means? Thank you.
Thank you. Three very different and far-reaching statements and questions. Maybe you can answer them as briefly as possible.
Thank you also for the very critical ones. If I take the easy one first, the ecological means, yes, certainly we need to incorporate that. This is in particular important when we preserve the soils that we have. And we certainly need to do that because these are basically the only ones we have. But it's not sufficient. Many of the ecological means that we have do not sufficiently solve some of the other issues that we have, that we need to increase productivity, that we need to reduce some of the nitrogen emissions and so on. So we need to combine it. We need to combine the ecological measures with some of the technologies. I'm sorry for not going into detail into the ecological ones, but all of the ecological ones that we need to focus on, of course, also need to enhance the resource use efficiencies. That's very important. I don't know what to do about the loss of good prime land, prime agricultural land to urban developments, motorways and so on. There's probably nothing to do there. In Denmark, we had, in fact, back in the 1970s, a large program to map all of our soils so that we would know which soils were the bad ones, so we could put our cities there. But what, of course, happened is that we put all of our cities on our best soils. So it's a very difficult issue to deal with. Now, when it comes to the first question there, that this might be a nightmare scenario that I was putting up, let me just say that we are not seeing a nightmare scenario, but what I put up here, we are living one. Because the way that we pollute currently, the atmosphere, the planet, and so on, with our current practices, and this is not just the agriculture, it's all of the rest of what we do, including driving cars and so on. So if you don't want tractors to do your field operations, if you don't want cars, if you don't want planes, then of course you can say we do not want biofuels. But if you do want all of those technicalities, you could say, that we have, that we live with in our modern society, we need to find other ways, other types of energy to drive those vehicles. And currently there is no alternative to biofuels and bioenergy. There is no alternative at the moment. There will be no alternative, no real alternative for the next couple of decades. In fact, there are sustainable ways that we can produce bioenergy, in my opinion, which just requires that we increase productivity of our land and that we shift to other types of crop production systems that are more based on perennial production systems than our annual crops at the moment.